In a small town, there lived a young, beautiful girl named Maya. Her face glowed with a creamy, golden glow, looking like the sun, and her hair shimmered like strands of gold. Maya was born deaf, and unable to speak, but she had a dear friend named Momo, whose dark skin and short hair were as striking as her kind heart. The two were inseparable, always seen playing together, and sharing countless adventures. Despite Maya's inability to hear or speak, Momo understood her perfectly, acting as her voice to the world. Maya often lay in bed, dreaming of the day she could hear the melodies of life and express herself with words. It pained her deeply that she couldn't share her emotions verbally. She loved watching people sing, and her secret wish was to one day sing herself. Each day, she would stand before the mirror, trying to speak, but only muffled sounds emerged, bringing tears to her eyes. Though grateful for Momo's support, Maya yearned to be her own voice. One afternoon, after school, Maya and Momo were playing, when the village sangoma, Vusi, approached them. Vusi was a figure of both fear and respect in the town. He smiled at Maya, his eyes admiring her youthful beauty, which made the girls uneasy. Composing themselves, they listened as Vusi began to communicate, with Maya using hand signs. Confused, Maya looked to Momo for help. He says he can make you speak with his ancient, powerful herbs from the Sotho Mountains, Momo explained to Maya. The promise of such a miracle filled Maya with a mix of hope and apprehension, setting the stage for a new chapter in their lives. Weeks passed, and Maya finally made up her mind. Wrapping herself in a scarf to hide her identity, fear accompanied each step she took. Her heart pounded in her chest as she stood before the door and knocked. Moments later, the sangoma appeared, a wide grin stretching across his face. "Come in," he said, his voice eerily calm. "I've been expecting you." Maya hesitated but stepped inside, allowing him to lead her to his dimly lit corner, where he performed his rituals. As they sat down, the sangoma began chanting in a deep, haunting voice, mumbling words with no sense that sent chills down her spine. His eyes glinted as he looked at her. "The gods have imparted to me the medicine that will cure your disability," he said, gesturing to her in an awkward attempt at sign language. He stood up and fetched a bowl of herbs. But something was off. He turned away briefly, and washed his privates with the herbs. He turned back, standing naked before her. "Undress," he commanded. Maya froze, disbelief flooding her. She had never been in a relationship, had never experienced any sort of intimacy, and now she was trapped in a nightmare she never imagined. She wanted to scream, to flee, but her body refused to respond. Fear paralyzed her. Sensing her hesitation, the sangoma moved swiftly, tearing at her clothes and dragging her towards the bed. She instinctively tried to cover herself with her hands, but he bound them, silencing her protests with a cruel shush. Her wide, terrified eyes searched for an escape, but it was too late. He climbed on top of her and violated her. When he was done, he rose, oblivious to the horror he just inflicted a young lady. "Put your clothes on and leave," he commanded coldly. "And don't forget, you must return every week for the medicine. If you tell anyone, the cure won't work." Maya dressed slowly, tears streaming silently down her face as she walked out of his hut. Her mind was blank, her heart shattered. She took the forest route home, hoping the darkness would swallow her pain. That evening, her friend Momo, as usual, came to check on her. Playfully going through Maya's closet, Momo froze when she found a blood-stained skirt. She stared at it in shock. "Why didn't you tell me you got your period so early?" Momo exclaimed, her voice a mixture of concern and confusion. Maya stood frozen for a moment, before forcing a smile and replying in sign language, "I forgot to tell you. I'm sorry." Momo's instincts told her something was wrong. Maya had never hidden anything from her before, but this time, it felt like she was standing in front of a stranger. Doubts creeping at her, but Maya's silence kept her from asking more questions. Yet deep down, Momo knew something terrible had happened, something Maya wasn't ready to reveal.